Hey, what's up guys, my name is Ragujan, and I'm gonna explain how to use Servlet Context in servlets and as well as JSPs. And so what is Servlet Context? So Servlet Context is actually it is an if you go here you can see it is an interface. However, when you the container will create an instance of this, and it could be useful to have common values that could be shared across the entire application. So each servlet or the JSP can access that specific value. So let's say you want to set the admin email. So you don't want to set it till every time when you're creating the server, and you don't want to configure all the time in the deployment descriptor or web annotation to set the admin user email. So in that case, what you can do is you can create you can set these values, the admin value, using the XML context param, and you can set the using context param and like this, context param and context param name, admin email, and you can set the value admin actual value. So using this like this, um, so using this and using this context, every other servers can use that value. So yeah, so that's how it goes. So and the entire application will have only one servlet, um, and yeah, and you can set that common value that needs to be shared through the web XML like I said earlier, and you can configure that actually information. And yeah, like I said, the context, the init param, you can only in server in this case you can get the context param, but you cannot set in the runtime. You can only set it in while deploying, or uh, yeah, you can only set using when creating the application, not when in the runtime. But however, you can set attributes in the runtime like this. Let me see. Yeah, here you can see I set attributes. The attribute is name, and the value is ragjayan, and the attribute is age, and value is 34. And also you can set rather than strings, you can set rather than strings you can set object, other every object you can set objects. Like this is the object of that user. If you go to that user class, which is has three variables, instance variables, name, email, and city, and using this constructor I set these values, I set values to each of these um, instance variables. So that's what I did here. So created the instance of that user. So now use this keyword, using this attribute, I can get that specific object in other servers. So that's what I did here. um, Here I set the attribute here, and I'm retrieving the attribute here in the server, in the context C server, and I set in the context A. And yeah, and this is the these are the methods that the server context, using server context you can get use the server context object will provide you these um, methods, the get init parameter, which was be set in the deployment descriptor, and this will give us the get init parameter names. This will return us all the set all these previously set parameters, which are from the deployment descriptor and also from the web container, and I'll show you that. So not only by the developer, the web container also set some values, some parameters, when deploying. And also you can set attributes uh, using this method, which takes a string and an object. And also this one will return us that attribute that we set earlier. And using this method we can destroy that attribute if we don't need. And this is the image that explains how the server context can be accessible from other servlets and JSPs. And each servlet and JSP will have separate servlet configs. So you can see servlet configs. So this is a good example, because using server config, if you don't have a server context, you would have to set values separately each time. If you want to set the admin email, you have to set a server in each server config, um, the email and the value. So that's not a cool thing. So yeah, so that's why the server context is very useful. So yeah, so let me explain what is if I call these get attribute names. Let me deploy, and yeah, I guess I deployed, and this is context A, and I'm gonna refresh. So when I refresh, it will be a get method, get request. So you can see um, these are the outputs that from the while loop. So you can see I only set the name, the user, and I guess I go to the deployment descriptor. uh, I only set the name and the user uh, in yeah sorry in the name, user, and it should be age. Yeah, cool. So attributes, sorry, so attribute names, so I only get the attributes names. So yeah, and beside the attributes that I set, there are other attributes that set by the container. And also and yeah, so I got all the attributes. And here you can get all the init params using this method, using the get init param names. So what I did was I created a while loop, and it will give us all the init params. So it should give us these two, I guess. Yeah, the scope name and your actual name. So let me yeah, deploy, and let's give a request. Let's make a request to that servlet. And yeah, you can see it gave us so here, which one, yeah, so it printed out E. So, and after E, it should give us these parameters, the init param names. So here it gave us the scope name and your actual name. So if I go to the descriptor, you can see the scope name and your actual name are the only context param that I set earlier. So yeah, so these are, there's no other context params. So yeah, so that's how it goes. And these are what I did was I checked whether or not the the user attribute is null. If it's null, which means I didn't set. um, yeah, so if I didn't go to the A, when I load the application, and if I didn't go to the A, and I straightly come to context C, it won't give me it won't print out these values, because these at the user object wasn't instantiated. So yeah, and also here you can see this is a server config, and this is server context. And I said I got the I try to get the get init parameter value. So if I go to context B, let me go to context B, and it should give us. And before I'm gonna clear the console, and let's give a request and your actual name. So your actual name John Marshall, and it should give, and get attribute name was fragjn, which I set in, I guess I set in here. Yeah, the name, and it gave us null. Why it gave us null? So SF, the third config parameter, is null. um, yeah so yeah, so that's how it goes. That's pretty much for Servlet Context, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.